Alright guys, so I told you I'd be doing something special. So I'm going to be doing before you buy a 1977 to 1979 Lincoln Mark V. So I'm in a parking lot right now. It's dark. Because I'm leaving so early tomorrow I'm in California. I'm heading back to Alaska. Leaving so early tomorrow that I can't really do this tomorrow, so I'm doing it tonight. So this is my 1979 Lincoln Mark V. It has the 400 cubic inch. Yeah, people dispute big block, small block. It's a 400 cubic inch smog-related California vehicle. I'm planning on registering this thing in Alaska. Means no more smog, no more 2-year registration. So it'll be one and done, and yeah. So here's everything before you buy the 1979 Lincoln Mark V. So obviously this is going to be a classic car. It's carbureted, 2-barrel, manual or analog, fuel pump, no electronic fuel pump. Really no electronics. Everything is vacuum controlled or hydraulic controlled, which is another problem with this thing. Is it has hydraulic steering and brakes, and currently I have a leak in my. Someone's doing a burnout over there. Currently someone's doing. Currently I have a leak in my hydraulic system. I'm not gonna pop the hood. Just because I'm in a parking lot right now, but I have a hydraulic leak. So like if you go under the car right there, you'll see some hydraulic fluid always. That's one thing you gotta be aware of. But it's a Ford. You can find those parts anywhere. You could probably even convert it to like manual braking and steering. I obviously wouldn't do that. It's a super easy line to replace. I'm sure it just went bad over time. So that's one thing you have to be aware of. Next is this is a massive car. I mean, it is, I think, the longest two-door Ford ever made. I'm a pretty tall guy, so here I'm gonna start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish, full steps. This car is absolutely massive. I mean, it's a 70s car basically, so it's massive. Basically the only thing with this car is, it's old, so you have to treat it like an old car, but it's in that era between old and modern where it's still reliable and you can drive it like it's not an old car. Like you can drive this standard. I mean, I drove it for a daily driver for 6 months. Never once let me down. Even in California, super hot, never once left me stranded. It's amazing. Unfortunately, it's been sitting for a little bit, so the paint is a little bit faded. I'm sure I could rejuvenate that paint pretty easily. Also, it's covered in moisture right now. But yeah, I'm sure I could easily restore the paint on this thing. It's not hard to take a clay bar to it, maybe some, restoration finish for paint kind of deal. But take it to that, I'm sure this thing would buff right back out. Being a California car, there's literally no rust on the car anywhere. So everything's perfect. The trunk is near perfect. Floors are perfect. It's really a great example of this car. Has 63,000 miles. It was owned by a World War II veteran since like 1985, he said, or something like that. I have a card in there from him. Like 1986, he took a photo with it. So this guy's owned it. He's a World War II veteran. He never drove it like a kid would. He didn't rice it out. He's not a cholo. He didn't put. He left this thing completely standard. Drove it really like almost none. It's a beautiful car. So this one is interesting because he said the original owner was an oil executive. Oh, the door's locked. Let me hop in. Actually, it's kind of cold out here. So this being a massive car, that's one thing I gotta consider when buying a older full-size cars. They're just massive. So on the inside we see cloth seats, but it has a sunroof, and this was a premium paint with premium turbine wheels. So why is it outfitted this way? The guy likes my car. Does it have cloth seats? Well, story is this car was originally a New Mexico car that was sold to an oil executive, and she didn't want her bottom to be burned every time she got into the car, so she got cloth seats, which is just perfectly fine for me. And yeah, so once you're in the car, you can just see how I don't think it really gives a perspective on camera of how massive this really is. Like, you're sitting, I mean, I probably a good 4 or 5 feet back, even more from the front wheels. Like, it's massive. Like, it's truly massive. And there's another probably 3 or so feet of car in front of those wheels. So like, this is just an absolutely immense car. And here, let me start her up. Oh, keys in my pocket. This Lincoln has a lot of cool stuff, like a thermometer, analog thermometer, right there. Shows you the temp, and it's actually pretty accurate. I mean, I'd say it's probably about 55, 45, yeah, probably 45-ish. Yeah, it's pretty inaccurate. It's a pretty accurate thermometer right there. So you have fasten seatbelt and oil. Battery's a little bit low from setting for about a year, but I put a charger on the battery. It was obviously disconnected, but I didn't have enough voltage to crank it. Put the battery charger on it, 20 minutes, cranked right up. Alternator works fine. If I was really going to drive this for any distance, I'd do a lot of maintenance, like replace battery, replace alternator, because it's a pretty old alternator, oil, stuff like that. I mean, it's fine oil, no problem with that, but yeah. What's cool is you have the hood headlights. Like that like little clunky I heard was the headlight hoods coming up. And right now my dash, most of my bulbs are burned out, so my clock, this is a clock, not a tack. My gear selector is burned out, and my speedometer is mostly burned out. And the only thing that's there is a gas gauge right here, but it's also burned out. You have wipe wash, that's still illuminated. The radio is still illuminated. Over here you have your light controls and AC controls and heat controls, obviously, over here, and they all work just fine. My miles to empties is really cool. Early digital. It says I have 73 miles to empty. Yep. Basically, just press a little button right there, and it'll tell you how many miles to empty. This thing might need a bit of a carburetor tune-up. Yeah, it could use a carb tune-up. Right here, here's a problem with specifically these cars, and possibly the Mark IVs as well, is basically this is a big curved piece of glass, right? And if I wasn't in California, I'd be more worried about this, but right here, the seal always rots out. Like, I can feel it's rotted out right here, and that drips right on here, and this will start a fire. Like, if you're not careful, this will catch your car on fire. I've seen it too many times on a Facebook group I'm on. But everything works. Windows. Locks. Seat controls. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-way seats. Unbelievable, right? For 1979. Let's turn the heater on. It's kind of cool in here. So yeah, you have a switch right here for your roof. Unfortunately, my roof does not work, so it's silicone shut to keep the moisture out. This is another place where moisture will get in and ruin the seats, especially the cloth seats. So I don't ever have a plan of making that thing work. I don't really care. It's a really poorly designed system, and on these 70s cars, it's pretty, it's mild at best. So here, let's take it out on the road. I'm gonna head home. Oh, I'm in neutral. There we go. So yeah, this is a massive car. I mean, not only am I massive, there's an EV charging station. That's funny because this car gets about 7 miles to the gallon, even though, yeah, it's an emission controlled vehicle, sure. And I drive it like, a little old person, right? This thing still gets about 10 maybe on the highway. It's incredible on gas. Mainly because this thing I think weighs like 58, 59, even 6,000 pounds. I don't really know what the exact curb weight of this car is, but I'm sure with a full tank and myself in the car, it's a lot. So this is a massive, heavy car. It does not get very good gas mileage. But out on the road, the rewards are just amazing. I mean, you're just like floating, and it's not the suspension that's bad or anything like that. It's just this thing was meant to cruise on open, back Texas roads and just cruise. I mean, this is just amazing. It's just, you can see the corners of the car. It's just beautiful. So what's nice is it's also power steering. You can't see anything in the car right now. It's unbelievable. It's so dark. But yeah, I'm sorry this has been kind of a weird video. My channel's probably gonna get taken down. We'll see how many views this video gets. Hopefully it'll get a couple. But yeah, I would totally, absolutely recommend this car to anybody. I mean, pick yourself up an old Mark 5, Mark 4, even Mark 3. Mark 3s are starting to go up in value because they're from the 60s, like late 60s, like 69, 70, 71. But these cars, like the 77, 8, 9 Mark 5s, they look just as beautiful as the other ones. I'd say the Mark 4 is a little bit better looking. But you can pick these cars up for less than $10,000. Hagerty does price these at around $12,500 right now, for like really good condition ones. So you could probably find a really poor condition one for $5,000, $4,000, but it would be kind of better to go find yourself a nice one and just drive it. I mean, it's a Ford 400. You can find them anywhere. When that eventually gives up, just I'm not gonna say put an LS in it. I'd never say that for a Ford, especially a Lincoln like this. But you could find 460s, couple $100 all day. As a C6, I don't know if it would bolt up to the C6 that's in here, but get yourself a 460. Even another 400. You can find them in the old Ford trucks. So I would absolutely recommend this car to anybody. I'd say just be aware of like the old car factor, the length of this car, the fuel consumption. Just be aware of what you're getting, but if you're really looking for one of these big American cruisers, get a Mark 5 or just get a Lincoln in general. I mean, these things are just amazing. You always get the looks that I mean, you're gonna have a car that is going to appreciate. It's only gonna go up in value. It's never gonna go down. And you just get like this massive American boat for a couple $1,000. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna probably end the video out here. Sorry again, it was so dark. I mean, I just can't make a video tomorrow. Sorry. And the special video I was planning didn't actually end up coming out. We didn't end up doing it. Me and my friend were gonna go blow up his car, but we chose not to do that. He had two cars, but we kind of enjoyed rolling around in it, so we ended up not doing that. So yeah, I hope this video is good enough for you guys. Some stuff had come up, so this video is getting a bit long, but if you guys are still watching, please like, subscribe, as if that's gonna matter by December 10th. But yeah, we're probably gonna get deleted December 10th if you haven't seen the other video, because of YouTube's new policy changes and all this fiasco stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to make a couple more videos. I'm gonna make a before you buy 1979 Lincoln Mark 5. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end out the video right here. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you later.